pretty sure this movie killed brain cells. Oh my god, this movie! Replicas. So Replicas is definitely a January movie starring Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves works in this lab where they're trying to transfer human consciousness into a robot's body. Then his family dies in a car wreck, so he clones them and transfers their consciousness into their bodies. Half of this movie is about Keanu Reeves cloning his family and no one's supposed to know about it. The other half of this movie is his company is trying to transfer human consciousness into a robot's body. And if that sounds like two different movies, it feels like two different movies too. This feels like two different episodes of Fringe, The Outer Limits, The X-Files, something. They were like, let's crush it together and make one movie. It'll still have the budget of a TV show and it will show when we show the robot, but hopefully Keanu can pull it on course. He can't, because this isn't Keanu as we know him now. This is Keanu as we knew him in the 90s. Like, at a point, it was fun to make fun of Keanu Reeves because it's like his acting range was, whoa. We were like, huh, Keanu, whoa! But then at a point, it was like, yeah, but he's cool. Then he makes it work. He owns it, and that's what makes him great. He's John Wick, baby, and if he didn't have that, he would be Neo forever. But no, this is like Keanu, how people used to make fun of Keanu. He was bad in this movie, and I don't even blame him. You just feel like he didn't want to be there. I wonder if the studio was like, hey, if you want to do that passion project, you need to do this. It happens. It's a dirty part of Hollywood. I don't know for sure, but I have to feel like there was something. Keanu's career is looking up, man. We got John Wick 3 coming. And you're telling me he was like, no, I really need to do this piece of shit. No, come on. Someone had a proverbial gun to his head. He had to do that per a contract. I have to believe that. Nobody in this movie is good. Then one of the characters flips into some grade B villain. You're like, you're talking like a grade B villain. And this just comes down to the screenwriting. This movie is everything bad 90s sci-fi or maybe bad early 2000s sci-fi was. You know, when you hear people say, I don't like sci-fi, what they mean is they don't like bad sci-fi. They don't like movies like this. This movie did everything shitty sci-fi movies do. Directionless, convoluted plot, flat acting, horrible dialogue. Nothing can stay long enough for it to marinate to mean anything. Like, at a point in this movie, Keanu Reeves is like, I can clone their bodies, but I can't transfer their consciousness. So he just has to figure it out. And it takes time for him to figure it out until he's like, oh yeah, now I can do it. And then he does it. Or how about when he's clutching his dead family's bodies, then he gets the realization like, oh wait, if I do this, I can bring them back and transfer their consciousness. I had that eureka moment right now because I needed to. I had no choice. The difference there is simple. It would save us about 15 minutes. And I could have gotten out of this movie 15 minutes sooner. Call me selfish. I would have preferred they went that route. And if you're gonna say right now, well, that wouldn't make much sense, that just means you haven't seen this movie. Nothing in this movie makes sense. I really feel like this is one of those movies that got shelved. You always hear about that, like movies that were written a couple decades ago, then they got shelved, then they just dusted off and they're like, all right, we'll make this. It's like that. This movie was written in a really dark time for sci-fi. Like, Hollywood was at their low with sci-fi. They were just churning out crap. And this was one of the shit storms someone passed off as a brainstorm, but it was shelved. And they dusted off and they were like, oh hey, someone wrote a screenplay after Johnny Mnemonic came out. I guess we'll make that now. But they didn't adjust the original budget for inflation. That 90s dollar doesn't go as far now as it would have then. Again, I don't know for sure. I don't know why I keep making up stories as to how this thing came to be. I'm just trying to find logical reason to the madness as to how this thing exists. And for the life of me, the normal procedures just don't seem to fill it. So it had to have been contractual blackmail, or someone found this script wedged into their grandma's vent. They're like, let's make $5. You want to talk about bad CGI? There's this robot in the movie. It's not good. All right, I'm going to spoil something. Spoiler warning. Don't watch this movie anyway. This spoiler should mean jack shit to you. The endgame had Keanu Reeves transferring his consciousness into a robot body, so there could be two Keanus now. But when that robot kicks in the door, he's like, get away from my family. But he sounds like Keanu. He's like, get away from my family. I don't know why. I was just like, how do you sound like him? Your consciousness doesn't dictate what your vocal cords sound like. Your vocal cords do. And it's not just the voice, just the robot scene in general. Just, it was nail in the coffin for this thing. And I guess it's on the fucking poster, so I guess it's not a spoiler. Oh God, that CGI robot was terrible though. Like, I thought Hollywood was at a point where it's like, if we can't make robots look semi-realistic, we're just not gonna try. Someone was like, I'll show you. Like, if this movie wanted to be a movie about Keanu Reeves transferring human consciousness into a robot, that'd be fine. If it wanted to be a movie about an organization that wanted to do that and they're gonna backstab Keanu Reeves, fine. If this movie was just about Keanu Reeves cloning his family and then things start going wrong, fine. If this movie wanted to be a movie about someone who clones his dead family, but he could only clone 3 of the 4 of them, so he erased their memories and they start to remember, and then things start going bad because of that, fine. But it wants to be all that shit in a bum rush job? No, it doesn't work. It's just really sloppy. But it's left open for a sequel. It's not getting a sequel. Come on. It can't get a sequel. If this movie gets a sequel before I get the concluding chapter to Legacy of Kain, I'm out. Fuck it. Fuck this place. I'm going to Mars. Elon, are you a fan? Take me the fuck to Mars if this shit gets a sequel. And yeah, studio, whoever made this, you can quote me on that. Put that on the Blu-ray box. This movie truly is a January movie. This movie truly is dog shit. It's like everything has the makings where it could have been interesting, but this movie missed the mark on all of it. That's truly talented to miss the mark on everything that much. You would think in terms of probability, something would have hit the mark, but no, it's like C-3PO. It's like, oh, nope, look at that. You missed it every time. Like every one of those, everything was a whiff. All right, so Replicas. Have you seen this movie? That's probably a rejected episode or two of a sci-fi show. What did you think about it? Or what's the shittiest sci-fi movie post-90s? Whatever it is, whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.